Dragonshire, a very cool map, and the one thing that it really sticks out with Dragonshire is that communication is really everything on this map. You need to make sure that you have, first of all, a composition that is ideally able to have some global presence, where Brightwing comes into play, where also ETC comes into play. You can just jump between those shrines. We have 2 shrines to hold, and when you control both of them, then in the mid lane you can get a Dragonite statue, awaken that, and use the objective to push the opponent. So coordination is everything here, and they played this map yesterday. And that was actually where we saw on... they actually didn't, sorry, my bad. Dragonshire was not played in this particular series. I'm mixing it up with another game that Team Liquid played.
Yeah, Team Liquid, though, pretty solid on most maps, so not too... it's unlikely they are going to have any issue on this map. Gamers 2, though, did we see them play it yesterday against SK, or was that not one of the maps? I don't think it was. No, I don't think it was, but we could have seen it coming. We did see Dragonshire getting played a lot, though. And we had, in those games, mostly being played by SK, and that was the map where they did run their pet comp. And it was dealt with in the last game versus... Oh yeah, it was against Gamers 2. It was the very last game.
Yep, the very last game that they played, and it was with the pet comp as well. But for Team Liquid, that is, of course, not how they wanted to start in this series. And, I mean, you have to think from their point of view here. They are ahead throughout most of the game. They apply the pressure. They are the ones to initiate the attacks. They really push the opponent back, take level 20 first, which is incredibly powerful. They drop a keep, which is nice, and they play it safe and controlled. And then there's this last fight. And they wanted to fight there. You saw Vortex at the top, moving in with the Vikings from a very nice angle there, trying to get as close to the backline as he could. ETC jumps in right away, and then the immediate disengage by Gamers to Blackscorp, especially Juve, I have to say, like, bolting away there before he was even under a lot of pressure, because he realized, if I stay here for another second, I'm going to be dead. Blackscorp is going to jump me in a split second, and I have to get the hell out of there, or I'm going to drop, and then my team loses the match.
Yeah, ETC instantly went in on him as well, and it was split second able to bolt away, so he didn't get caught. Second draft is up. We did mention it is going to be on the Dragonshire, and the first ban from Gamers 2 is going to be Illidan.
And that means that we are very likely to see Uther in this game. Team Liquid, they banned out Abathur most of the games against their opponent. Are they going to do it again, or will Gamers 2 finally get a chance to show their Abathur skills?
We will have to see, but most teams have been fairly consistent in banning Abathur against Gamers 2, and yeah, we do see that coming in again. No one wants to let them have it. It's that feared. Like, people talk about how Blackscorp is just a ban target in himself. But the fact that Abathur is banned so consistently against Gamers 2 just goes to show how much respect everyone in this tournament gives it. And like you said, we do see the Uther pick, and that is by Gamers 2.
And that is already quite awesome, because now we can see a melee assassin protected by a Divine Shield. We've seen a few comps where you really go back into the Divine Storm and try to have a stun comp against an opponent. Oftentimes that happens against Illidan. In this case, we're having Uther now played, and Gamers 2 has the option to go in a potential Kerrigan. They could also show something completely different. The teams have been saying that they experiment with a lot of different builds these days, trying to just prepare something special for the tournament. Team Liquid constantly going for those Vikings. It is their priority pick, and it worked for them in most of the games. And in the last one, once again, the Vikings, one of the major factors for their experience lead that they had in the mid game.
Very much so, and what we have seen from a lot of teams once Uther is first picked is we usually see a denial pick. It's almost always Illidan's banned. We almost always see a denial pick on the Kerrigan. Liquid aren't about that. They're in fact going to pick up the Sergeant Hammer again.
Yeah, and Kerrigan is actually a hero that especially Blackscorp plays also really well. If it's a melee assassin, Blackscorp is experienced with it and will show you how it's done. But right now, Sergeant Hammer is the pick. And I mean, talking about Blackscorp, it was really that Void Prism in that last fight that screwed them up there. So a bit uncharacteristic.
Usually on point, but unfortunately he did catch the Lost Vikings in there and gave Sylvanas very few places to run. Just an unfortunate little catch there. It's very hard to do anything in a fight that intense when you've already, your rest of your team have already used most of their heroics.
Yeah. Well, we have now the picks for Gamers 2, and for them, they played several super interesting comps, but this Dragonshire is a map that we haven't seen yet, so they might have something prepared here that they have not shown yet in this tournament. Sylvanas was so far always a pick that they value very highly. If they get the opportunity to pick Sylvanas, they usually do. They might do that again. And they're also one of the teams that has been running Stitches in this tournament several times, and Stitches combos also extremely well with Uther because of the stun that you can apply after the hook.
Absolutely, and that is kind of viable, especially considering how small this map is. There's very short distances between lanes, and the fact that Liquid are running a Sergeant Hammer. So very nice hook target. We're going to see Gamers 2 picking up the Zeratul this time. It's our turn, Liquid.
You were apparently going to Blackscorp and telling him, I'm going to show you how it's done, son. Let's see if he can do that. That's going to be an interesting one. Picking the Zeratul there away from Liquid against them, and the Tacita. A safety pick here too, since he has Oracle, which he can use to reveal invisible targets. That's not going to work, so vision is already limited. And of course, he's also one of those heroes that can protect a melee assassin. And that's something that we oftentimes see with Illidan.
Yeah. And in this case, running it with the Zeratul, like you said, it's a great denial pick from your opponents when you are running a Stealther. Like you will see a lot of times with Novacoms, but more with Illidan as he is played more, and it is a great denial. He's a very solid hero, fits in with your ranged style pretty well, and the protection cannot be underestimated. Like you said, it's so good. And not to mention, this is probably one of Tassadar's best maps.
Yeah. One of the reasons why we see Zeratul this early is also because they expect Team Liquid to go for that hero again if they get the chance, just because Blackscorp really loves it, and they usually play a lot around those Void Prisms, so have a lot of experience with that. For Team Liquid, on the other hand now, Valla is still an option. Very constant damage, very reliable. You can head into Sylvanas. You know that Gamers 2 wants to pick a ranged assassin, so now you can make up your mind which is the one that you do not want to play against, which is the one that you would really like to take away from them. And Valla would probably be a very good choice for them here. Besides that, they still need heal, and what they also need is, of course, a frontliner for Lucifront.
Yep, you mentioned Valla. There's also the chance of Sylvanas again. They ran it in the last game. Wasn't ideal, but they were able to get into it. And we're just having having a bit of technical difficulties for the moment, so...
We are making the game more beautiful for you guys.
We are.
Currently.
We need to make sure it looks as good as it can.
But yeah, looking at the draft that we had so far, with the Sergeant Hammer, it's one of those picks that especially the Spanish team have been very consistent with. Gamers 2, one of those who really like to play the hero as well, which is kind of interesting to see because they are the two teams that clash against each other here. And there are very few teams that value Sergeant Hammer as highly as the both of them. So now we have Malfurion for the heal. And I really want to see what the additional range damage dealer is if they take one, because that would either be Sylvanas or Valla, and it's more about what you want to pick away from your opponent. I have to admit that right now I think Valla is going to be the hero that Gamers 2 is going for, even though they usually go Sylvanas.
I would agree. I think the Valla is going to be a bit better here due to the fact that their team is a lot longer range. Sylvanas is nice, but her Withering Fire requires her to actually get a little bit close. Whereas Valla, you can kite, you can do whatever you can. You can join in the sieging with Sergeant Hammer with that Arsenal talent. It's a great little bit of damage, so you don't have to rely on just that waiting arrow. But they are, in fact, going to go for the Sylvanas, just choosing that push potential and that incredible heroic over the damage.
I meant Gamers 2 is going to try and go Valla, because for Team Liquid, it kind of makes sense.
And we're wrong.
They play the comp that they played on Sky Temple here.
Yeah,
it's actually
Zero and Nova.
Yeah, for Sylvanas, I feel for Team Liquid makes sense because they can use what they did also in the games before, Sergeant Hammer and Sylvanas. If you leave a lane alone for just a bit, these two will give you a really tough time. With another range assassin, I would have really liked to see Valla for Gamers 2 though, because she just puts out that constant damage. With Nova, we have a full burst comp here for them again. They played that yesterday, that very same comp on Sky Temple actually.
The issue that we had with it, due to the fact that they are against the Vikings, and we do know that the Nova on their team does not run Gathering Power.
It's actually an interesting discussion that we had with them. Muradin is being picked, so we might see a Lucifron on that hero Muradin again.
Every time Lucifron gets a Muradin, now I get excited now.
But the gathering issue is actually like a really fun part, because one of the things that could make this comp very, very strong is, first of all, it's strong in itself. No matter what you run against, it's a very strong comp. It relies a lot on burst damage. The idea behind it is that you have a Tyrael that jumps the target. You have Zeratul that blinks in, gets his double bombs, gets the cleave, and can always wormhole out. And then there is somewhere in the shadows a Nova that tries to go for that snipe. So it's an incredible burst damage, and you annihilate the target before it happens. What's special about it, though, especially in this case, is that with Lost Vikings, you have a lot of targets against you, since they are very squishy. You have 3 of them. And what both of those assassins run on the side of Gamers 2 is they have on level 4 Gathering Power available. And that means the more targets you kill, and a single Viking counts as an entire kill, even though he's only a third of the experience, or a fourth, you can still use your stacks for that. Interesting enough, though, and even the Polish team couldn't explain to us why, one of the players, and that is ADRD, the mastermind behind all of their builds, does not take Gathering Power on the hero, which is so easily to just like get these stacks up. Zeratul uses it, and we were like, ask him, what's the idea behind this? Because the first time we saw it, we expected a misclick. And the first thing that happened is
you cast it in a different game, and you mentioned it to me, and we're like, the second you saw it picked, you were like, right, this is going to really annoy me, and called it out right before it happened, and instantly went into Envenom anyway.
And we talked to Nika about it, and he said, like, yeah, of course he's going to take Gathering Power.
Yeah.
2 seconds later, he messaged again and says, like, hey, that guy for some reason, he's a newbie. He wants to take Envenom regardless. He's like, I don't understand it either. He should take Gathering Power.
It does work in the comp because, like you said, they are going for the huge burst potential, and Gathering Power stacks can be very easily reset. Nova does not have the escape that Zeratul has. However, there's Vikings. It's so tempting. It's so many stacks.
It's so easy to get these stacks up on the two of them.
Especially on
I
Nova.
really want to
Easier
see
than
if
Zeratul,
after
I'd say.
yesterday's game, maybe they sat together and were talking, and
Maybe.
if he changes today the build, or if he just sticks with it and says like, no guys, this works, believe me. And as I said, AD the Nova player here, he is actually the mastermind behind the comps that they have. He's their captain, he's the guy who makes the drafts, and he is also the one who apparently comes up with all the new builds and for the heroes. So if he really, after a discussion with the team, says, no, this is still the way to go because we have that extra damage over a short period of time, they will do it. But the whole idea of this build is just great. And if you look at the targets that we are seeing here, Malfurion, before he has Ice Block, hell yeah, I'm going to take that. Sergeant Hammer, as long as you can prevent him from thrusting away, it's a great target to
get him
attack.
before level 7, which makes Envenom actually make a little bit of sense. No first aid. You can actually take him down very quickly if you're quick enough.
Sylvana is the same thing. Of course she has a great escape. The problem is she needs to launch that wave before she gets stunned. Exactly, she needs to wait for a second. So a lot of the targets that we're having on the side of Team Liquid are super juicy for this comp. And this is going to be very, very difficult for Team Liquid. They have to play, if they can keep their heroes alive, if they don't get sniped once 10 hits, then they are in a great spot there. But it's not going to be easy for them. They have to play a very controlled and very careful game.
We did last time see as well the Zeratul running the cleave build, as it is a bit better when it comes in to blink in burst and then blink out. Whereas the double bomb build, it is very much a blink in, harass, blink out, but it gives you that extra range, bit less damage, but still pretty good. And would you like to introduce the players?
Yep, we're starting to the left side with Gamers2, Leo from Korea on Uther. Yobe is playing his Zeratul, Nika on Tacita, AD on Nova. And up to the top, we're having Tyrael, of course, in this case, here also played by Shihu. To the right side of the map, where we have a rotation to all 3 of the lanes, we're seeing still, once again, Vortex on the Vikings. Black Scorp is, in this case, playing Sylvanas, which we've seen him on a lot. Gran Paquette on Malfurion. Lucifron playing, of course, again, the Dwarf. And Falcon on Sergeant Hammer.
Yeah, Falcon really a fan of the Sergeant Hammer, plays it a lot. So for now, we're just going to see Gamers2 going for the massive group up in mid, try and clear the wave style, but they're leaving behind Leo so that he can soak the wave, not going for the full 5-man roam between lanes. They've got everyone in lane in time to get all the XP. Black Scorp, though, has Sylvanas, not going to be missing out on the XP down here.
And we have a hammer build on the side of Muradin. It's actually interesting to see that oftentimes they go for the Thunderclap regardless. Like the build on Muradin definitely changed, and they're already trying to get Nika low here. That extra stun is of course great, and they are going to use that. Nova is going to run with the extra damage out of Cloak as usual, trying to supply that burst. And Eric, one of the Vikings, killed at the top lane in this case. With the Vikings, of course, you only get 0.25 kills, not a full kill to take one of them out.
Unless it's Gathering Power. Black Scorp already low. Both! Wow, both Stealth Assassins come in to try and kill him off. But great use of his Haunting Wave. They're able to dupe them out by going towards the enemy base and then teleporting straight back to the end of his wave. Very cool.
There's nothing more annoying than playing against a good Nova and Zeratul in the same team. You see that small shimmer and you're trying to get away. Great stun here and root from Lucifron and Gran Paquette, keeping Falcon alive. However, Sergeant Hammer here already owes Lucifron a beer out the after party.
This is true. And for now, we're seeing Sichu just dealing with Vortex in the top lane, trying to take down Olaf here. But he will be able to back out, and Olaf, it's fine if he takes damage, as long as he survives, he has that passive health regen that we just saw.
Both of the shrines now under the control of Gamers2. They're trying to go for a Dragon Knight, but in the mid lane, there's only one of them. Up to the top, another Temple, another shrine being contested. Down here, the tri-lane still with Sergeant Hammer as Lucifron tries to steal this one out. Vortex could try and maneuver one of the Vikings to the top. Oh, he has taken that again, so we could see the Dragon Knight. Here comes the Thunderclap on the side of Muradin. And we're seeing 4 we still have no talent take on level 4. There's Envenom for Nova again. Yep, he's sticking it out with his guns, using the build that he's been using the entire time now against us.
Yep, trusting more in the burst than the potential late game. And considering how much lockdown there is, if Muradin can get a good stun onto Nova, and there's a good chance he may be going down. Muradin, we can see him going for the burst build that he went for in all the games he's been playing so far, going for that double Thunderclap, and he will take the 300% damage also, on single targets at level 7.
Nice rotations on the map already. Dragon Knight attempt at the top. They're trying to steal it out. Good job by Blackscorp. Takes the Dragon Knight here. The control of the 2 shrines. They still had it to the top lane. We saw already Team Liquid moving in to steal it away, but not in time. Gamers 2 against the Dragon Knight right now, as Shehu not getting that temple or that shrine at the top lane. Vortex still claiming it. A lot of mines down at the bottom, and that tri lane is still pushing in hard. This is a very tricky situation to deal with. You have the Dragon Knight against you in the mid lane, you have down to the bot lane a tri, and up at the top it is still the Vikings pressuring you.
Blackscorp taking quite a bit of harassment here. He's just going to back up. He doesn't need to sacrifice anything here, and there's the fact that once he is out of this Dragon Knight, he is Zeratul. He has no trouble blinking out. However, everyone's left his lane. He just punted away the last person left to protect the base from him, and just got some free damage onto that tower. Shehu trying to take down Vortex here. Olaf dropped very low, but they're turning around. Get a spin to win on him, but Shehu will be able to back out.
Yeah, Tyrael has to be very careful here. He's still in cooldown on as well. 64 seconds. That means for the longest time he's not going to be able to get any hit points back here. We have, of course, now also jumped. There is once again the battle momentum on Muradin, and we're having follow through for Sylvanas for that extra damage that she is going to take here. And I have to say that Blackscorp Sylvanas so far has been absolutely great. The mobility on the hero, just seeing everything, every rotation on the map, jumping away, preparing those haunting waves in time. And the initiation, and suddenly Lucifron jumps in with the Thunderclap, goes straight for ADRD. Blackscorp with the damage, gets stun locked though for a second, and Lucifron still in hot pursuit of Nova. They're trying to go for ADRD. The protective shield is there and also a healing one, and they keep ADRD alive.
He gets hit by the dagger from Blackscorp, but is able to survive. Joey also blinking out there. Very nice Blackscorp on that Sylvanas. Getting some really good chase potential in, and he hasn't even got evasive fire yet.
Yeah, and also, of course, the anti-armor shells for Nova will help a lot after this fight to get easy kills, especially against the Vikings. The burst damage on Nova is insane as is, but that level 7 talent is just absolute key to the strategy, and they are trying to move in here. Yova and ADRD, the Vikings moving away. Shehu with a bit of a bait, and they're going straight for it, killing Eric out. There's the jump, and goodbye, Balog.
That was a one hit on one of those Vikings there. And we're going to see Joey and the Nova heading back to the mid lane. Muradin is there, but he's going to be a little harder to take down. ADRD just not even going to bother. And Joey just walking past. Lucifron does see them and getting a bit of damage onto Joey here, but he's going to blink out.
That is slow on Lucifron. He has to be careful. Misses one of his Storm Bolts. Also quite important to see that the shrines are coming up in just a few seconds. We have also a lead in experience. It's a slight one that we are seeing for Team Liquid here, but it's there. And Leo from Korea moves back. If they can actually get level 10 a bit faster, they might be able to get another Dragon Knight here, and that would be absolutely crucial. Falcon being attacked. A stun against Yova. Zeratul dies. Great kill by Team Liquid, and they're pushing this lane in again against the Polish team.
Yep, Zeratul finds Malfurion, starts attacking. Suddenly, Blackscorp shows up. He blinks away, instantly fights Falcon, and takes huge amounts of damage. Muradin gets the stun off, and that is the kill. Second Dragon Knight off the game. Once again, going over to Liquid. Vortex now pushing in this tower. He's taking it with one of the Vikings. The other two Vikings just chilling in the top lane.
Tacita just barely surviving in the top lane, by the way. There's now suddenly the heroic abilities, and we're going to see a quick replay here as Yova is being stunned out. Falcon, just look at that. Grand Paquette with the Moonfire, and they all burst him down.
Yeah,
he had no chance.
Everything was used there. The Sylvanas Envenom, no way you're getting away from that. And we are back. The Dragon Knight's still pushing in the top lane against Tyrael. There's a couple Vikings there as well. Eric was chilling in the mid lane, but he does go down due to the fact that there's quite a lot of stealthers there.
We also have the level 10 abilities for Gamers 2 now on the board, and that means Archon, and we're having, instead of Triple Trap, the Precision Strike here. There is also no Divine Shield in this composition, but they're actually running this currently with a stun. They're going for the Divine Storm, which is interesting considering how much pressure Team Liquid was trying to execute towards Zeratul here. So they're trying to go into a stun lock against the opponents. Void Prism, not really a surprise, and this can be used as a setup for the Storm.
Very much so. There's a lot of potential here. Divine Storm into Precision Strike could be a great thing, especially if you add Void Prism in there. And Zeratul, that is enough range for his cleave as well. If he can just get in the middle of that, there's a huge amount of burst potential from Gamers 2 here. Liquid just clearing out their camps for the moment. They don't need to fight for them for now. They have almost half an XP bar worth of lead.
We have also with the longboard, of course, another great tool there, and that experience lead that you were talking about is, of course, really essential, especially since the teams are now closing in on the 13. ADRD not successful in trying to kill Vortex, but we're still having the rotations on the map from the two assassins, trying to get those in, and of course, especially pressuring Vortex as the Vikings player.
Yeah, and Vortex, he's not trying to put on pressure. He's not trying to go for kills. What Vortex is doing is laning. Nothing else. He's just getting XP, he's soaking up as much as he can, getting a bit of harassment every now and again, but staying alive and keeping the minion waves, or keeping in range of the minion waves so he can get all the XP from it, and that's keeping them ahead. Down goes Balog though, and that's going to happen quite a lot. Vortex trying to escape on Olaf, and he shall do so. Rest of Liquid diving in here, going very hard, but nice Void Prism there, going to prevent that chase from continuing.
Very well done by Yoa, making sure that nobody dies just yet, saving Nika here. And of course, it's quite important for Zeratul to still keep farming those stacks, make sure that he gets kills, especially against the Vikings, and then has that additional ability power. The 13 talent is ready for Team Liquid, and they're running the stand-up builds. They have actually a small variation, and I love that. We're seeing Spell Shield used by Sylvanas, just adapting to the opponent's composition, where with that Judgment Initiation, that snipe on Nova and Zeratul, just so much burst damage is available to Gamers 2 that Black Sculpture said, all right, listen boys, I don't have the hit point pool to sustain this. I need a spell shield here to help me out.
Yeah, and we do have the level 13 talent from Muradin, which gives him that extra 300% damage when he does use his Thunderclap. So now he can do huge amounts of burst damage when he does dive in. And we mentioned earlier, taking his level 1 hammer build, just getting so many stacks on that.
It's really nice for Sylvanas to give up on the evasive fire here. Good trade, and having also the talents ready with a Shrink Race taken on the side of Uther. There's again Burning Rage and Wormhole. So suddenly Nova is getting way more mobile on the map and can really jump in and out. We don't have a talent for Nova just yet, but the Shrines are up again, and Black Scorp and his team, they're taking the top.
Yep, Joey though is going to grab this bottom shrine, make sure that the knight does not get snuck away there. And once again, Nova taking her time with this last talent. And this is where in the last time we saw Nova, we saw Lethal Decoy being taken. So maybe some force makes burst damage. It's double decoy on the level 16, but just taking her time for the moment, just to make sure there's no better option.
Rotations to the top. Everybody's just setting up for the next team fight, trying to go for the shrine. ADRD is currently trying to capture that. Leo with a stun. He's getting stunned, gets away, heals himself. The lockdown against Shaiku, immediately taking it. Lucifer, here comes the longship, and they're actually having that great Void Prism there. Vortex is losing his ship, and the save against Lucifer. No, gets taken down. Black Scorp. Wow.
Zhao able to get out as well. Black Scorp teleports in and takes down Zhao. And he also gets the other side of Leo from Korea. Tries to chase him down. Moonfire does not finish him off as the shield from Tastar does save him. And that was a 2-for-1 in favor of Liquid.
Liquid moving in still. They are, of course, trying to push that in. We're going to have a replay of that fight, though, first, as Black Scorp moves away for now to heal himself up. There's that battle, and you can see immediately they're trying to take down Leo and Shaiku. But then comes the jump, and here Lucifer attack. Bam! The bubble. And he just barely, look at that precision strike, he jumps out of it into the
keep an eye on Zhao here and Black Scorp. Zhao dives in, Black Scorp immediately turns around, gets an Envenom off, Zhao wormholes back, and Black Scorp with the Haunting Wave immediately gives chase. There is the dagger and able to take him down.
Yeah, and Tyrael jumped in too, and he died for it. He was really trying to pressure Muradin as much as he could. Both of them probably saying like, hey, listen, you are not surviving here. That's not gonna happen.
Oh!
Wow!
That's nice though, that precision strike. Who needs gathering power? Wiping out with Black Scorp there.
Very well done. Good kill by Nova, and now we have 4.25 kills for Gamers 2 and 3 for Team Liquid. The talent lead is again there for TL. They're having the Norse Force on the Vikings. We're having the Stone Form in Muradin. This is going to be making him so much more tanky. The Tenacious Roots on Malfurion, and Hammer even playing it passive here, not going for the Executioner Talon, but instead running the Stone Skin now for a bit more survivability against the burst damage for Gamers 2.
Falcon takes a snipe to the side, and with that health reduction on Hammer that was seen in the last patch, she is even less tanky than she used to be, so that does chunk pretty hard. Vortex using his Dragon defensively for the moment. Nova finally picked her talent, and it is lethal decoy.
It is Dragon after Dragon in the Series 4 Team Liquid. They're doing extremely well with the objectives, but a massive, massive trap.
Oh, and the Goblin.
Doesn't do anything for them, unfortunately. There's the Siege Giant camp being attacked, and now the 16 talents also for Gamers 2. Gamers 2 is playing a great game when it comes to those battles. They are ahead in kills. They've been really aggressive, roaming the entire time. But what they really need is one Dragon would really help them so much. They couldn't kill a single structure yet.
Yeah, they haven't got anywhere. It's really difficult. Gamers 2 have been doing so well in the fights, but just not well in the pushes. And we do have the extra Storm on the side of Tassadar, imposing presence on Uther, which is going to be great against that Sergeant Hammer. Blood for blood, no, very unsurprising there on Tyrael, and the Cleave build still out of Zeratul.
Once more down to the bot lane. It is that 5-for-5 setup. Who is there? Lucifon could always jump back with the Dwarf Toss, and Yova's waiting for a War Prison. He's waiting for an opportunity to do some damage. Haunting Wave away, and ADRD on the run. Needs to be careful, gets healed by Leo.
Yep, and ADRD does have that Polygraph talent. He does have that Vulnerable talent on his W, which we rarely see, but it's really cool and working really well for him. Almost takes down Balog there, and they're doing quite a lot of damage. Gamers 2 pushing back Liquid a little bit, but Liquid are not done. They're all still mostly full health, and they're getting ready, just looking for a better angle.
I really like the way that we have Falcon using the entire time his AoE skills, especially, of course, the Napalm, but maybe now the initiation is Shaiku jumping in, Vortex jumps away, Jump is down for now. They could take a Viking or two, they're all shielded though. Here comes the attack against Tyrael, a great Void Prison saving him in the last second. They're going straight for Falcon, the precision strike, he's down, Tyrael is still alive for another second. They're going for Vortex, getting him out of the boat, and Tyrael is still alive, but Leon Uther is dying. Did he get another counter kill? They're jumping in. Lucifon on the Avatar is trying to save his team, and Shihu jumps away there. What a fight, and that precision snipe kill against ADRD. Wow.
The counter engage was so good. We're in fact going to see a replay of that. Shihu, actually really nice in that fight, was able to survive. But there we go. There's a Wailing Arrow on free. Instant Void Prism by Xiaowei there, saving his team. And Shihu is immediately like, yeah, we need to make the most of this. They take down Falcon.
Wow.
But Uther gets wiped out as well pretty much instantly. Shiv gets taken out. And there's so much damage. Look at Shihu. He almost goes down, and he manages to survive.
Talking about survive. Nova getting killed there. They were trying to contest the mid, but Nova taken out. And in that fight at the bot lane, I have to say, like, Tyrael surviving this is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, he was nearly dead already when the Void Prison reappeared. He still judgmented in. They were just saying, hey, sacrifice yourself. We're going to take the hammer down.
Tyrael.
And
even
he
if
survived.
you die, blow up on them.
Nobody attacked them. Everybody thought he would die anyways, and then he survives the end.
Vortex currently prepping for Dragon Knight, and he is there. Falcon there to protect him, and all the members of Gamers 2 actually went down to the bottom lane, and they won't be able to die this time. They do, however, lose Tyrael.
Yeah, Tyrael killed at the top lane. Great job by Team Liquid again. Currently, it is a 1-1 in the best of 5 series here. Team Liquid, they are once again ahead an entire level, a bit more than that even, and they're going for the mid lane with the Dragon Knight. Vortex pushing those towers in. 16 talents for both of the teams, but Team Liquid, they want level 20. They want the keep, they want the victory here on Dragonshire, and they're starting to move in. Liam Korea, ADRD, Yuba, and Nika, they're trying to save what's there to save with one AoE spell after another, but Falcon in the backline is being attacked. Here comes the zoning precision strike, only hitting Black Scope a bit, killing nobody, and the keep is down.
Yep, and that is all Liquid need. They have no reason to stay here. They are all low from that precision strike. Vortex had the Shrink Ray used on him, but he is fine. When he comes out of that, he is just a single Viking, does not want to accidentally get killed off the Liquid. Playing very safe, moving to a different lane where they have more chance of escape. Vortex just using up the remainder of his Dragon Knight. He can jump the second he pops out, and we will see him probably do so with any damage forward.
Nice damage here again by the Vikings in this game, but the level 20 talent is now available to Team Liquid, and they're using it. with the Ragnar Rock and Roll with the rewind on Muradin, extremely important. A bit more mobility even for Sylvanas since that Bolt of the Storm comes into play, and the advanced Lava Strike on Sergeant Hammer will make it so much easier to really poke from a distance and try to get your opponent low before you actually jump into the fight itself.
Yeah, and Liquid's taking this Bruiser camp and just sending it in the direction of Gamers 2's base, because very little they can do about it. Gamers 2 would not want to chase them into that blind bush where they had no vision.
Very reminiscent of the last game where the mid keep went down, the level 20 was on the board, and then with the 20 on their own, Gamers to turn around. But now Team Liquid is playing more aggressive. Here comes the Void Prison, the kill against Muradin. He's down already, and it's kind of safe. Nova there, they're jumping in again. Blackstorm already on the way out, using another Wailing Arrow, hitting 4 heroes with that, and Nika.
Oh, the last second dimensional shift.
No way! No way!
He gets out on minuscule amounts of health. Vortex on the run. Blackstorm haunting waves out. And that is a 1-for-0. So close on Tassadar there.
Unbelievable. And they got the keep as well. Here comes once again that replay, and just look at that right now. Once again, you with that Void Prism at the beginning, they were trying to jump in. Lucifron is waiting. He hits that Stormbolt. 80 already being attacked. Void Prism comes in. Here comes the Precision Strike, and this was insane. The kill against Muradin, and now Tassadar. Look at that Wailing Arrow coming from Blackscorp after the wave. Here comes the wave. He shoots the Wailing Arrow and hits 4 targets with it.
Yep, no shield on Nika now. Thanks to that, he drops solo, and the silence just finishes in time for him to dimensional shift. And the last shot still hits him, but he gets away on a tiny amount of health.
The keep is down though, and that means that 2 of the keeps are eliminated. It also puts Gamers 2 in a position where they have level 20. They can fight on eye level with their opponent again. Here comes the Twilight Archon, the rewind on Nova, and that is such an amazing talent on her. That damage that she has is just suddenly being doubled, and she is already the top damage dealer in the game with 50,000 hero damage.
Followed by the Lost Vikings, actually, with 45, showing that Ragnarok and Roll just how much damage it really does.
If you get the full distance on a Ragnarok and Roll, it is absolutely amazing.
He also has 141k siege damage, which is obviously nothing to sniff at, seeing as the next highest is 127 on Sergeant Hammer.
Of course, also on the side of Shiku in terms of the talents, we are having Hardened Shield there. Again, the jump and the redemption on Uther, which is super important, and the second rewind on Zeratul. There's so much burst damage on the lineup now. It's even more, like, it was already incredible before, but now it is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and Shiku taking quite a bit of harassment, gets stunned, but he has enough shields from himself and Tassadar to tank most of this.
Missed snipe by ADR, so that damage did not hit Lucifron. He could well up too, so not really a big problem there. But this game is still anybody's game to take. It's amazing that Team Liquid was able to not lose a fort yet, but if they lose one fight, we all know how fast that momentum can shift. The good thing, though, for Team Liquid is that even if they get wiped, it's very unlikely that Gamers 2 will be able to end the game on it, just because with still all the forts and the keep still around, you have to go through those first.
On the right side for Gamers 2, though, they're keeping only 1 level behind at this point, and they have basically 3 banks of XP on Liquid side of the map, on Liquid side of the field, where if they kill a couple of Liquid members, they can take down forts, and they're just XP banks waiting for them to cash out.
Yep, definitely true. Now we have both of the shrines just for a few seconds in the hands of Gamers 2, not for long though, since we see the Viking rotation to the top taking the first one. And again, just both of the teams aiming for another team fight. And we didn't see a single Dragon Knight for Gamers 2 just yet. The Polish team just didn't get one. In terms of objectives, Team Liquid is running the game. And they're trying another Stormbolt here, getting that in. Oh, good Storm here by Tassadar, getting the Viking slow as well.
Yeah, but we are seeing ADRG hologram going right in there, getting a couple vulnerables off. Dishu, nice Void Prism on Blackscorp and Falcon. That's the damage dealers. If they can get anything done, there's the judgment on the Lucifron, but he tanks it all. He gets out with the rewind, and he is turning around onto Shihu. Vortex is just rolling through here in the boat. He's now trying to body block Nika to prevent him from seeing Shihu. It's almost guaranteed dead. Nika turns around, tries to kill Vortex, and all of the Vikings do survive. Wow. Never mind, in comes the Radiance, taking out one of them. Leo Maria is now on the run. He's cleansed himself, trying to get away. He is healing. He came back after his redemption there. Down he finally goes.
And a bit surprising that they really try to take Muradin down like this. He is so super tanky.
He is like the opposite of the target you actually want.
Exactly. He uses his stone form immediately, and you see that precision strike come down and all that burst damage, and he doesn't care at all. Hits rewind, jumps out, very surprising that they're focusing down. Not really what you want to do there. You want to go for one of the squishies. You want to try and burst Sylvanas away before she can do anything. Or Sergeant Hammer, but a very, very weird choice there to go for Lucifron. And now suddenly there's another Dragonite for Team Liquid, and they're moving into the mid lane. They're going to try and end the game right now. We are past 20 minutes. Look at that damage on the Dragonite with every single hit.
Falcon, but Falcon is just tanking, is getting
not
so many
matter.
heals. Vortex is pretty much full health on the core, and it is going to be GG, and Liquid take game number 2.
Team Liquid with the victory here. They take it, and that puts them in a 2-1 lead in the best of 5 series, thanks to the advantage that they have coming from the losers bracket. We have a 2-1. They need one more map to win the grand final here at the PGL Champions of the Storm at DreamHack Bucharest.
Yep, but Gamers 2 put up such a huge fight in that last game, but like we mentioned earlier, it just wasn't the best engagement on Muradin. Like, they got the perfect Void Prism on the 2 squishies, who were the real targets who they wanted. If they managed to get Muradin and just one of those squishies, then whoever they went on would have instantly died. Then they can turn around and kill the other.
And you have basically no chance to burst down Muradin. He gets a heal, he has Stone Form, he's simply hitting that rewind, jumps away again. Like, how are you ever going to catch up with him? And did you see that precision? Like, he just shrugged it off. He's just like, what do I care? I mean, did you see my hit point pool?
I'm going to hit rewind and jump away. I do not care about your damage.
So, as is, we have a 2-1 in favor of Team Liquid. Gamers 2 is down 1 map, and we're going to head into a short break, ladies and gentlemen, before we jump into the next one. It could be the final map of the series here, so we'll be back with the PGL Champions of the Storm in just a bit here at Team DreamHack Bucharest. So, guys, stay tuned, and we'll be back in a few.